Hi guys, Mel the Train Tutor here again with a new short series for you. Now, if you've been following my channel and my sort of posts on Google Plus and Facebook, you'll know that I've recently bought one of these. Okay, well, actually, I brought one of those compressors and this sort of cheapo airbrush came with it. I'm getting into airbrushing. Now, I'll be completely honest with you, okay? I'm completely new to this. Okay, my own prior experience of airbrushing was about 6 years ago with a plastic airbrush and propellant out of a can, and it was horrific. And I haven't come back to airbrushing since. But yeah, airbrushing does have its benefits, and I've been looking around and I've realised actually, for building terrain and painting terrain, this is actually a hell of a lot better and than a brush. And there's a number of reasons why. There's far better people to explain it to you than I, and I'll link to some videos in a short while so you can see what I mean. But basically, guys, what I'm trying to say is I'm getting into airbrushing. Now, why am I recording this? Well, one, it keeps me focused. It helps keep my thoughts focused as I'm learning to airbrush. I mean, if I think about a short video series that I can put together, it sort of focuses my learning rather than me just learning haphazardly. Second, there are amazing artists out there and incredibly knowledgeable people that will offer you so much information that is invaluable. Yep. Now, there's no way I can possibly equal or even come close to those. Yeah. What I can offer you is my complete ignorance, my absolute inability to use this. Okay. Now, airbrushing is supposed to be quite complicated until you get the hang of it, and then it's a relatively simple process. Yeah, but it's getting the technicalities and all that sort of stuff right, and that's what puts people off from what I've heard. Okay, and I'm only going on hearsay here. Yeah, so I will happily, display my ignorance. I will show you my mistakes, and I'll give you my honest feedback about coming to learn to use this and what I've learned, and how things work for me. Okay, and if I make a mistake and I've screwed something up, I'll be honest with you and I'll tell you why I made that mistake, or I might ask you for help. Okay, lots of okays there. But generally, that's what this is all about. Now, obviously, I've got my airbrush. Yeah, I've been gagging to use it. I've got my compressor. I've got a quick disconnect cable. I'm not going to disconnect that because it's pressurized. I've got a dual motor with a cylinder and a regulator, and it's all wonderful, and I'm not going to explain any of that, but I've got the ability to airbrush. What I don't have is any airbrush cleaner, so I can't clean it, and cleaning is important, so I can't use it till I get my cleaner, which should be about 3 or 4 days now. Okay, so what I have been doing with it is running water through it. Okay, and that's just purely, one, because I've wanted to play with it. Okay, and the other reason is because it's an easy way of learning. Okay, or I'm finding it an easy way of learning how to control and the feel and what comes out. I mean, with paint and the clogs, there's no risk with water as I understand it. Okay, water will just shoot through, there's nothing left over. There's no cleaning required, there's no mixing of water required, so I should be able to put as much water into this as I want and just spray it through with no harm whatsoever. I mean, you're supposed to clean them with water and a mix of ammonia solution, I've been told. I've been told alcohol works well as well, but I've read a few places that with certain paint ranges, they can go gloopy, so I'm waiting for an ammonia-based, cleaning agent, so I can actually clean it. But anyway, I've been spraying with simple water, and just getting a control of it. And in the meantime, what I've been doing is looking around the web, around YouTube for various videos that basically teach me. Okay, now what I've done is I've found two sort of producers. Okay, now the first, is War Games Consortium. Okay, and there seems to be a collection of gamers. They're sponsored by Badger, who are a major manufacturer of airbrushes. So, they have a good chunk of airbrush videos. Yeah, and I'll link to the watch. I'll throw up the link to their playlist or, to their channel, and you can find them on there. But they have a very specific video, and it was filmed at Adepticon, I think. And I'm just looking at my notes now because I wanted to get this right. Yeah, Introduction to Airbrushing with Ken Schlotfeldt, I think it is. Now, this guy is the owner of Badger. He's been around airbrushes all his life, okay? And he knows them inside out, and he does a really, really good presentation. It actually looks like a couple of presentations, like a Q&A session and a formal presentation that they've sort of put together. But it's well shot, and this guy really, if you want a solid grounding in understanding airbrushing, I'm not telling you how to do it, but I'm telling you all the technicalities, what it is, what this does, general problems that go wrong, you know, general fixes, best practice, all that sort of stuff, and interesting stuff about airbrushing. Check this video out. Yeah, check this Ken Schlotfeldt. I hope I'm doing him credit. Yeah, check him out. Yeah, because it's well worth. It's an hour and a half. Yeah, I watched it in 3 sittings, but definitely a brew and definitely just somewhere quiet, absorb it, because there's a lot of information. But I went from not understanding a single piece to having a solid grasp of all my equipment and where I wanted to go with what you call it, airbrushing. Yeah, after watching it. So really stick with that. But check out Wargame Consortium's what you call it, or yeah, Wargame Consortium's what you call it videos in general, because they're really good. Okay, now the other one, yeah, was this guy, and he is Orc Painter Nerd, and he's done 5 or 6 airbrushing videos, and I came across him, and he does, you know, war game stuff, and he's, you know, demonstrating all sorts of stuff, but he's really nice. Okay, and what I really like about his videos is he's obviously good at it, you can tell that. Yeah, what also he's experienced, but on top of that, he shows you what he's actually doing. I mean, it down to mixing the paint and how much, and thinning it and thickening it again and dropping it in, and you get to see, and that's what's lacking in a lot of airbrush videos. They do a lot of talk, or they'll show you what they've done, or they'll show you themselves doing it, but actually filling an airbrush and handling it and mixing the paints and that sort of stuff, they tend to sort of like take as granted. Okay, and when you've never done it before and you've got no one to actually go and look at over their shoulder and say, "What? How do you actually do it?" You know, that's really useful. Now, I'll be honest with you, they're not the best shot videos, yeah, but what I'll say is forgive this guy his weaknesses, because there's so much to learn from his strengths. Okay, like anyone out there, yeah, he's knowledgeable and you get to see real nitty-gritty. Yeah, it's well worth it. Stick with it. Yeah, it's, if you've not airbrushed before and you want to actually see what airbrushing is, the actual practical application, not the technicalities, but getting stuck in and actually doing it. Yeah, I like this Orc Painter Nerd guy, and I'll throw his watchcut links up. He's done one specifically where you see him working on a model rather than setting it up, and he's doing a halo figure, and it's mint. I learned so much from it in actual technique. And there's other ones where he's showing you mixing the paints and everything. But anyway, check this guy out. Right, in the meantime, I'm going to carry on spraying water over everything and getting used to this. Wait for my, what you call it, my ammonia-based cleaner to turn up. And, well, quite simply, carry on watching YouTube vids. If any of you guys can recommend some really good tutorials, and I mean hands-on, this is how you do it tutorials. Okay, not opinions or that sort of stuff. I want information, I want knowledge. Yeah, I know there's, I'm not saying opinions are bad, but you know, time is limited, so I want to focus my search and my viewing where I can. So if you know of any really good tutorials on airbrushing, whether it's gaming or cake basing, or you know, making cakes, you know what I mean, a wild field, I don't know where it comes from, but I'm interested in the technicalities and the application. Okay guys, but in the meantime, you have a great time. I'll be back real soon with a modular hills tutorial, which you'll see real soon, and another sloped hills tutorial. So it's busy in this household. You have a good time guys. I'll see you soon. All the best. Ta-ra.